Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are back.
We are back.
We are back.
Season 3, baby.
Season 3. We are starting season 3 today
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
of That Sound podcast.
Did you miss us?
Did you miss us? And don't lie.
Tell us the truth.
Tell us the truth.
Yeah, we've been away for a few weeks, Luke.
We have been. I was off the side of a mountain in Tibet,
Finding yourself.
finding myself.
Busy with the gigging, boy.
Yeah, been kept going, which is great. A lot of gigs on the Savage Hearts front, which has been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
New single coming your way
Tomorrow.
this week.
Yeah.
It will be next Thursday, the 14th of November. So by the time you are getting this, it will be only 2 days away.
That's right. Yeah.
14th of November. Be sure to check us out.
Check it out.
Listen,
sure.
Silver Locket by the Savage Hearts. It'll be available on all streaming platforms. And if you check Blowtorch Records, it will also be available to buy on vinyl. 7-inch single.
Nice. Nice.
Much like Speeding Bullets and Gang War.
Yeah, which we got ourselves
I have them over here.
before you were a member.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a member for the release of Speeding Bullets.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
Gang War had just released.
It's mad how that whole thing went again. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But a lot of gigs coming up as well.
A lot of gigs coming up. If you are in the Dublin area and you would like to see the Savage Hearts, we will be playing on the 30th of November in the Foggy Jew in Dublin. So that'll be a crack. That's in Temple Bar, I believe. And also we will be supporting the Undertones
Yes.
on the 6th of December in Cavan.
Is that a
Town
Friday
Hall.
night?
It is a Friday night. Will we get you to it?
Oh, I'm gonna make it my mission to get to that
Make a beeline to that one.
one. What other? Oh, while we were off too, we got shortlisted for an award.
We did. We got shortlisted for an award, so we did the Irish Podcast Awards.
Yeah, we're down to the last 6. So thanks everyone who voted for us for the to be shortlisted. It's mental.
Mad, isn't it?
We'll be hopefully get a night out in Dublin in January and
January, you'll have to see us all suited and booted, and
a bit of crack. But yeah, thanks to everyone that voted. Really appreciate it. So we'll see how it goes. I don't think we're expecting a whole lot, but it's great to be nominated and to be shortlisted. It's a great achievement for a podcast that only started.
yeah. But the first episode was released on the 25th of March this year, so we haven't. That was a weird mix of words.
Haven't.
We aren't even a year in business yet.
Yeah. And we've done a few collaborations with MCD and
We have, yeah.
gig reviews.
Some
and
of the folks in MCD have been very kind to us
yeah, so
to allow us to review
stay
some of the
tuned.
gigs.
Stay
And
tuned.
we have another gig review coming your way
Yeah.
from a gig that happened this week in the Olympia.
Great news. It was actually a lot of good news over the last few weeks. So
There was. I think we could be leaving stuff out as well. Oh, there is word of a new sponsor as well.
oh yeah.
But we will talk about that down the line.
Yes, Defy are staying with us for season 3. So thanks.
A massive
to Defy.
thanks to Defy.
Yeah, check out Defy for all your sporting wear. Absolutely class. Delighted to have them on board. So we're going to kick off with an album of the week. And this week we are going to talk about Alice in Chains and the album Dirt.
This has been a long time coming.
This I've been pushing this one.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about this album.
It's a fucking great album.
Oh, it's absolutely class.
Yeah, really, really good album. So I have some notes here. I'm going to read me notes and then we're going to just talk and see how it goes.
We'll
from
have
there.
a conversation about it, and I think you will all be pleasantly. My head is not on my shoulders by the sounds of things this evening, ladies and gents. But you are going to be pleasantly surprised by my opinion on the album.
Right.
I don't think people will expect
Right.
or
Right, here we go. Dirt. Dirt is the second studio album by American rock band Alice in Chains, released on September 29th, 1992 by Columbia Records, peaking at number 6 on the Billboard 200 chart. The album has been certified quintuplet platinum.
That's a big word for you.
It is, by the Record Industry Association of America, making Dirt the band's biggest selling album to date. It was the band's last album recorded with all 4 original members, as bassist Mike Starr was fired in January 93 during the tour of the album.
Way.
Yeah, he was fond of the Earl. Well, I'm sure we'll get into it, but he was the first man to get geared.
He was the first man to have some issues with some substances.
Well, I think they all had, but he was the first one to
really take it to
the boot.
New level.
So the album had 5 singles: Wood, Them Bones, Angry Chair, Rooster, and Down in the Hole. The album was produced and engineered by Dave my writing is test, but Jardin. And I did look, he did work with Anthrax. He worked with The Offspring. He worked with, I believe, one of the Pearl Jam albums.
No way.
Yeah, he might have been mixing some of the stuff he mixed.
Engineer.
Yeah. So the album length is 57 minutes and 37 seconds. It has sold over 5 million albums.
That's it.
I know, I remember thinking, right, that's it, right? But we started kind of this podcast and we kind of went down the Metallica road and we done the Black Album and we started at the fucking top.
We did, yeah. We started with some albums that absolutely
monster
hit
albums.
it out of the park.
Like, I remember I thought it was a mistake with Colour and the Shape, but Foo Fighters.
13 million, wasn't it?
2 million.
2 million.
And I was going, what the fuck? But like,
no, maybe Alanis Morissette's was 13 million.
Oh, it was huge, yeah.
Massive.
But 5 million, yeah. But you have to remember, these boys was at the prime of the grunge age. You had Pearl Jam, Soundgarden,
Temple of the Dog.
Yeah, all these different bands were all, and they're all mixing with each other, collaborating with each other. But like
your favourite, Mother Love
Bone, well, they were gone. But Mother Love Bone was earlier than them.
Nirvana.
So the band were nominated for a Grammy for Best Hard Rock Performance in '93. And
did they play at the Grammys?
No.
But they were nominated.
And I believe Nevermind, one of the songs from Nevermind, maybe Smells Like Teen Spirit was up as well as I think it was Them Bones. But Red Hot Chili Peppers Give It Away
won it.
Yeah.
Great song.
Different fish.
Yeah, all together.
That's a 5-legged fish.
Yeah.
Different.
3-eyed fish out of The Simpsons.
Yeah. So Rolling Stone placed this album at number 23 of the 100 greatest metal albums of all time. Now, just touching on that, we can get away from the book for a minute. This album has been described by a lot of different critics and a lot of different artists as hard rock, grunge, but it does have a metal feel to it.
It definitely does have a metal feel to it, and I would say the guitar and the bass is what lends itself to that label.
Yeah, the rhythm.
Yes.
Yeah, the rhythm end of it. Like I was listening to it even coming over again, and one of the last songs, I just don't have it on top of my head, but the bass track at the start, it might have been Wood, and the drums.
There are some of those rhythms.
Hypnotic drumming.
Yeah, one of them reminds me of some of the lower volume Gojira stuff.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of that song.
Very orthodox, isn't it?
Yeah, unorthodox.
Unorthodox, I should say.
Orthodox religion.
Yeah, unorthodox. The timing and the unusual patterns and everything is crazy. Like,
I found some of it was a similar vibe to music-wise to like Tool. When I was listening to it, like an introductory.
I did too, believe it or not.
If they say that smoking weed is the gateway drug to heavier substances, it would be like listening to Dirt by Alice in Chains would be the introduction to going down the rabbit hole of more progressive metal or rock, be it Tool.
Okay, Yeah,
You know what
okay.
I'm saying?
I thought you were going to start talking about drugs there. I
No,
said, no,
no.
this is deep into the
No.
drugs, this one.
No.
No, I'm with you now. Yeah, I'm definitely as in the Black Album is, getting you in as well. Yeah, no,
Getting into real heavier stuff.
no, that's a great point. That is a great point because
But I loved it. I didn't think I was going to like it.
right.
As I had said to you, all I was familiar with by Alice in Chains was Man in a Box.
Yeah.
And I would have listened to Wood years ago. There is a live performance of James Hetfield joining Alice in Chains on stage.
In England,
I think so.
It
At
is.
one of the festivals.
Yeah.
Was it Download?
believe it was down
06, I think, or 08.
Yeah, I think it was the same time they were in Dublin that time.
Yeah. And I remember watching it, and that was the only reason I watched it, was because Hetfield was. And I thought, I don't know about this, but then again, that could be 10 years ago now.
Yeah, like in fairness, I was only 6 when this album came out, and you were still
I
doing
was
the
still at the
backstroke.
war.
You were doing laps.
I was at the war for another while. There was a lot of good albums came out before I came on the job.
Yeah, like I wish at times I wish I was just that little bit older for that time. Like the albums that came out in them 5 or 6 years.
It would have been something else to be 16, 17, involved in that scene
Yeah,
in like 1985,
and they all came to
1986.
Dublin.
Yeah,
They all came to Dublin.
yeah.
I was talking to a lad I know up at home, and he was telling me he went to Alice in Chains in the SFX, and he just told me the opening songs. I think, what did he say they opened with? I'm sure hopefully there'll be plenty of our listeners with.
Did Dave Moore tell us he was at that gig?
No, I don't think so. He was at Ice Cube or one of them rappers,
Okay.
and he was playing metal at the time.
Okay.
But I think it might have been Damn the River or something like that they opened with, and he just said it fucking blew them, just unbelievable.
To me, there's not a filler on that album.
No. So I'll go back to the notes because we'll get into the tracks and stuff. Guitar World named it as the best guitar album of '92.
I would agree.
Yeah, Rolling Stone ranked it at number 6 of the 50 greatest grunge albums in 2019. They done a list.
56.
Number 6
Oh, number 6.
out of 50.
Oh, sorry, out of 50.
Yeah. So a little bit about the tracks. The album's lyrics feature dark subject matter. It's not a happy album.
No, they're very dark.
Focusing on depression, pain, anger, antisocial behaviour, relationships, drug addiction, war, death, and other emotionally charged topics. A fun fact, I don't know if you know, I think it's on Spotify, it's down as the untitled track, but it actually was called Iron Gland.
Okay.
And Tom Araya from Slayer is on the track.
No way.
Yeah, there's another. Let me see. Do I have this next? Some of my notes. It'll make sense.
Yes.
They were all recording in LA at the time.
In the same studio or around.
And let me just see is it next here. So Jerry Cantrell wrote the majority of the music and lyrics for the album, but for the first time, Staley wrote 2 songs by himself: "Hate to Feel" and "Angry Chair." And Staley also played the guitar on them 2 songs.
I didn't know he played guitar.
Now listening back, it's quite just
It's,
they're quite eerie songs. They're quite to me this album. I'll put this down for a minute. To me, this album is, I believe it was 2-tracked vinyl at the time. Well, CDs probably were out at that time, but on vinyl there was an A and a B side, and I kind of am on the page that this album, it's almost a concept album, right? Whereas the album is basically, to me, maybe after it kind of shows the roller coaster ride of the band and how it just fucking got crazier and deeper and darker as it goes on.
as
and
it
on
went,
and on.
as the
I know,
journey
as
went on.
It's a journey, and funny, I seen an interview of Jerry Cantrell there the other day, and he's explaining from his own words, like, this album's a tough listen, like, this album brings you on a ride, like, and come the end of it, you're fucking exhausted. Almost like Iowa, like we said.
Yes.
But as Jerry said, and it makes sense, like, that's what a fucking album's meant to do. It's meant to bring you on a ride. Albums don't do that anymore.
No, they don't. You're right. There are very few of them.
Like that really does bring you on a trip. Like, and
like songs for the deaf.
Yeah, but like, we'll get into the tracks, like, but like some of the songs, it's almost like, okay, like we all know the story. If any of you don't know, like, the band was heavily involved with heroin and drugs, and unfortunately Lane passed away, and Mike Starr, the bass player, passed away as well from drugs. But it kind of shows, like, I found, like, Staley's kind of talking about being on drugs and being happy on drugs, and then the withdrawals and the come down, and then how people perceive you, and you don't want to be on drugs, but you're on them, and you just can't get off them, and the darkness is just coming, taking over you, and blah blah blah. And it kind of, I just feel like some of them songs, you know, Hate to Feel and Junkhead and Angry Chair, and all, it's like the roller coaster of the highs, and not that there's too many good highs from drugs, but there was another thing about Junkhead as well, where some of the lyrics kind of, back in the day, I think they tried to critique the band by saying you're kind of making drugs sound like fun.
Okay.
And they were like, no, that is the opposite of what we want to do.
They were sort of
We
romanticizing this idea.
The critics were, but the band, they took the perspective from a different angle of what the band wanted to do. The band was trying to show how it can fuck you up.
Okay.
But it has to start somewhere.
Yes.
Like, you know, it's like having a pint. You know, you're happy, and you wake up in the morning,
it's
and you're...
funny though when you say that, because I don't think anybody sets out.
No one sets out to be an addict.
Have their first pint to end up an alcoholic.
Yeah, like, it's just,
or to
unfortunately,
dependent.
Yeah,
on a substance.
Unfortunately, it's just in some people that have that trait.
Addictive personality. Yeah, and even, I would think, I'm no psychologist, but I'm pretty sure the substance can get a grip of people who aren't of the addictive nature, and they just cannot control it.
Oh yeah.
Or they can't shake it. It gets a hold of them, gets a grip of them, and that's it. Yeah.
Right, so Dirt was recorded during the LA riots that erupted following the acquittal of the 4 LAPD officers caught beating Rodney King. The riot started on the first day of recording. Jerry Cantrell was in a store buying some beer when a man came in and started looting the place. The band tried to get out of town without getting hurt, while LA was protesting against police brutality. Slayer vocalist Tom Araya went with them to try and escape the trouble, and the group went to the Joshua Tree Desert for a couple of days until things calmed down.
I'd say there was a lot of beer in that car.
I'd say there was a lot of fun, all right. The artwork. So there was a lot of controversy over the artwork over the years. So what I found out was that the album's cover art features a nude woman half buried in a sun-baked desert landscape. The cover was photographed by Rocky... How do you say that surname again? Shank, yes. The cover was conceptualized by the band, leaving the owner of the album to make their interpretation if the woman was dead or alive. So the whole concept was Dirt, and you know that, and the songs. When you look at that, and you know,
it seems like a burial. It's almost like a journey to the underworld.
Yeah, and that's what the songs are.
Yeah, it's depth.
It's deep. It's dark. But you know what I found too in a lot of tracks, like it's very personal.
It's like you live in hell.
Yeah.
It's not quite as aggressive as Iowa.
No, it's not aggressive. I wouldn't find it aggressive. I'd find it dark and very sad.
It is sad.
It's very fucking sad. Like, God rest him. Like he a lot of these people with this talent, these artists, and they just seem to be just that bit troubled, and maybe that's what sparks this power of being able to put your emotions onto the paper and to sing your fucking emotions. And maybe going on stage or maybe singing that song or writing that song is the 5 minutes a piece that his head isn't fucked with his thoughts or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we've all had our shit. Like, and that's what I feel as. I'm not a fucking musician or an artist.
As
but
a listener,
as a listener, that's what I feel that they get from some of the shit that they go through. This is their piece, writing this stuff, singing this
it's
stuff.
their escape.
It's their escape, yeah. Yeah.
So they're at peace when they're on the gig.
I think so, anyway. So for many years, fans believed that the model on the cover was Staley's then girlfriend, Demery Parrott. But Shank confirmed in a 2011 interview with Revolver magazine that it was Mariah O'Brien, and she also done a cover shoot with the photographer for Spinal Tap single "Bitch School." So
Good woman, Mariah.
There was a lot of stuff about their breakup, Staley and
the missus.
Yeah, she passed away from drugs as well.
Also,
Yeah,
after the fact.
yeah. So it's like it's fucking.
Yeah, I'm sure they weren't a great mix then.
No. So the tracks on the album: Them Bones, Damn the River, Rain When I Die. Fucking love that song.
Yeah.
Down in a Hole, Sick Man, Rooster.
Down in a Hole is something else.
Yeah.
Rooster is very good
Brilliant.
as well.
Junkhead, Dirt, Godsmack, The Untitled or Iron Gland, Hate the Feel, Angry Chair, and Wood.
Angry Chair's very good.
Very.
As is Wood.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe Wood's the last song.
Yeah, and I did find out that Wood was previously written before I think that they went into the studio. I think it
Okay.
might, because I don't know if you got it, Luke, from listening to the track, like them last few tracks, right, from after Rooster, Junkhead, Dirt, Godsmack, Hate the Feel, Angry Chair, that's deep into the drugs there.
Yeah.
That's the darkness.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff being
and then
talked
Wood
about
is kind
there.
of, I'm not going to say happier, but it's different. It's different. I don't know if the placement of that song, if they could go back in time, I think Wood should be up at the start of it, would be my opinion. But maybe it's nice to finish on a happy note.
As you'd say, it's definitely not happy. It's different compared to the rest of the album. I find the tone overall, and when you listen to the music, you listen to the sounds that they're getting out of the instruments,
Yeah,
and you listen to Lane's voice,
yeah,
and then combine the lyrics. It's very similar to The Colour. And I'm normally not one to buy into that. You hear studio engineers or certain artists say, I want that to feel purple, or I want that to feel yellow.
as Clint says.
You know, make it feel yellow or make it feel purple, and sometimes you're like, what are you on about?
Yeah,
But when you see that red smoke desert feel, it reminds you of what you would think an abyss is like
yeah.
a wasteland.
The moon,
Yeah, Mars, but it's like some sort of hell that they can't get out of,
yeah,
but they're living in it.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah,
And that's how you feel listening to that album, is it takes you to that place where you say, oh, this is almost like an escape room, but where it's gone off the walls.
funny. I was listening to Joey Diaz. You know Joey Diaz.
Brilliant.
He started doing album reviews,
No way.
and he done Dirt about 3 or 4 months ago.
Oh, I must listen to
and
that.
I listened to it today,
Yeah.
and he fucking loves it. And he's like, this is just heroin music, like, you know. But he was saying, like, that was a thing. Like, a lot of these tracks too. Yeah, look, if you want to laugh, listen to Joey Diaz. You'll find him on YouTube, and Dirt, it's a good review. But I think a lot of these songs are psychedelic as well,
Yes.
as you said, like Tool.
Yeah.
I got that feel, like, I think it was actually Joey Diaz said some of the early Black Sabbath stuff is that kind of psychedelic kind of stuff, and it's similar feel to it.
I find the early Black Sabbath stuff though has a bit of a similar feel, but it's taken that psychedelic, like punk rock heavier. Was like Sabbath's thing. You know, you take that sort of psychedelic punk, it'd be like take you know, some Hendrix's stuff but make it low and make it chug. It's
Or this is kind of grunge taking it to metal.
Yeah, this is grunge really
Yeah.
taking it. But his voice has so much to do with it.
Let's just talk about Jerry's fucking riffs.
Yeah, that's something else.
Like, Jerry Cantrell is a fucking genius. And I don't think he gets the flowers he deserves either. At times, he is well regarded.
Most rhythm players don't.
Well, he's not rhythm, really.
I know, but with the riffs and the rhythms.
But like his solos,
yeah,
fucking unbelievable. And like, I know he didn't do it as much in this album, but like the Jar of Flies and the voice box thing, and I think he did it in the first album, Facelift. Like he did tap into new techniques as such, certain stuff, but like even like the layered guitars and the layered vocals in this track, and just the harmonies as well. Like he is a good singer.
Yeah, very good.
Like, even I mentioned to you a while ago that I Want Blood, his new album, fucking brilliant. Really, really good. And he's still banging it out, and he's very passionate about music. He like this album again, it's
very emotional.
It's so personal though. I think the boys put a lot into this. Like, we get into the tracks now, like, but I just have to mention that Jerry is brilliant. And the rhythm section, you know, Sean Kinney and Mike Starr on the bass. Like,
Sean Kinney's drumming's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely class.
What about the opening track? Let's get into it. Them Bones. Remember the first time I put this CD on, I nearly shit myself. Dude, you know the way it starts, and you have the volume way up, and you're fuck. That's when you get the brush on it. Don't knock down. Let's go fuck. But what an opening, fucking, just to scare the shite of that album, like that song. But
to be a smell in the van.
The unusual then, the time signature is a 7/8, Luke, you know best.
I think it's 7, yeah.
Yeah, and then the chorus is 4/4, I believe. But so Them Bones, brilliant song. I really, really like it. It's not into the dark. You're not into the darkness really yet. You're just. I think it's like Jerry being, like he explains here. Jerry was quoted saying, "I was just thinking about mortality. That one of these days we'll all end up a big pile of bones. It's a thought for every human being, whether you believe in an afterlife or that when we die, that's it. I've always had a phobia about it. Them Bones is trying to put that thought to rest. Use what we have left and use it well." I said that the guitar sound is very grungy in this one. The harmonies from the first track really set the tone. It punches you in the face again and again, but instead of ducking from the next hit, you patiently wait for more. I was proud of that one, Luke.
That one's brilliant.
Yeah, Jerry and Lane's melodies and harmonies are probably the best ever to be created on a piece of art like this album.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, you're not far off there.
You're
not far off there at all.
Yeah, it's really damn good.
Well, I haven't found another album myself yet to really go up against it.
Yeah.
In regards to the harmonies of the two vocals.
Yeah, but a really good start, really powerful start, I think. Just chuggy and fucking.
As you said earlier, it's eerie.
It is eerie, yeah, like that, like. I guess we've all had just none of us want to fucking die.
No.
You know, and I suppose there's probably times when I was younger too, you'd be worried about things like that, and I'm sure it crossed, obviously.
It crosses everyone's mind.
Yeah, and he just put it down on paper and made a song over it, like we explained earlier. Damn That River, fun story about this one, is about a fight between Jerry and Sean Kinney.
No way.
Where Sean supposedly smashed a coffee table over Jerry's head. And the blood from Jerry's head was the river that needed to be dammed. And the boys have talked about this. This isn't a theory.
Yeah.
This is the boys hammer each other.
Yeah.
And Sean wrote the drum track after the altercation, hence the angry, hard-hitting, cymbal-smashing drums. So, in studio, boys had a melee. Smashed it, and the blood wouldn't. He talked about it. I've listened to it. He said, the blood wouldn't stop, and someone must have said that word. Damn the river, or the river of blood, or how am I going to stop this, or whatever. And That's how it happened.
Damn the river.
So then they settled the fucking argument, and then he banged out them drums. I love that song.
Great song.
Really. And it's,
That's a great story behind it.
yeah. Oh, there's a lot of
Killed other.
that. Should you imagine the crack? Like,
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure they weren't sober now if that took
No.
when that took place.
Rain When I Die. Talk about eerie. You know, it's. Remember we talked before, Luke, about a certain song. Which one was it? And it was Songs for the Deaf, where Mosquito Song. Remember
Yes.
we said that. You know, listening to that song, you can always, if you tap into your mind, you can almost see a scene. Like I found with this song too. I kind of worked on me, where so the song is about a relationship. Some say it's about Lane's ex-girlfriend at the time, Demry Parrott. But then my interpretation as I listened to it was, it's more about the relationship, about drugs.
Okay.
This is just me.
I think you had said this to me a while back. There was
Yeah.
a couple of songs like that.
Yeah. So did she come here to try to take me? You know that I'm not gonna even try and sing, but you know. And then did she call my name? You know the way it goes. Did she call my name? And I was like, that's the drugs.
Yeah. Did the drugs try to take him?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
the drugs call him?
Yeah.
Not
Is that
the
them
missus.
calling my
Yeah.
name? You know that was my fucking theory. But I just love the. You can kind of picture someone pissed off, just in a room, angry,
Yeah.
and just thinking that's the world over now. And maybe that's the concept that I'm talking about. So maybe this is the start of the downfall. You know,
The downward spiral.
the relationship with maybe his girlfriend turned into this other relationship with drugs. You know, like for fucking like, or whatever you want to interpret it. So then, Down in the Hole is the next track.
Great song.
Yeah. Is Jerry Cantrell, then girlfriend, Courtney Clark. He was messed up on drugs and alcohol and was caught cheating on his girlfriend.
Jerry.
Yeah. He felt his life was spiraling out of control and at times enjoyed it, but then he realised the people he was hurting because of his actions. So what else did I say? Also, this song can mean a lot of things. You can take your own interpretation of it. So yeah, like he spoke on that most recent podcast with Jamal Beat. What's his name?
Rick Beato.
Yeah, he done a good hour with him, and I think he mentioned, like, again, a lot of people might think that Lane wrote a lot of these songs.
Jerry wrote a lot
Jerry
of them.
wrote
Yeah. The majority of them.
apart from them two songs I said at the start, like, talk about multi-talented, you know. But like Down in the Hole it's probably one of the more well-known songs, I would say. It with Rooster maybe, and that one, and Wood. But yeah, you can just, everybody's been in that time, whether it be in a relationship, whether it be at work, whether it be at school, or fucking sports, or whatever pisses you off and puts you in a bad place, you know. We can all relate to that kind of story. But again, what did I say earlier? This Lane's voice was like,
Oh, you said it was like delicious barbed wire.
yeah, I seen that online.
On Reddit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on Reddit. I thought it was a great fucking analogy of his voice, because it is raspy, it is high, but it's his.
Yes, it's his. It's unique.
It's so unique. It's so unique. So then we roll into Sick Man, and this is when it starts to change.
This is when it gets dark.
Yeah.
It gets dreary.
So Lane wrote this one. So the chug, you know, the start of it, the chugging guitar, it almost has that gallop feel to it.
Yes.
You know, and it's him actually wanting to be clean from drugs, but having to endure the hardship of the withdrawals. And you know what the song really, to me, done was that the music almost made you feel that chugging almost, and it kind of sets a panic, and it sets a tone and sets a mood of kind of unease.
Yes.
It makes it sets that tone of uneasiness and almost that feel of can't settle, and he's on edge, and the drugs, you know, he wants to get off them but he can't get off them, and he's battling with himself. And again, the vocal performance of this song is just fucking brilliant. Another fun fact for you, Luke, you'll enjoy this one. So Jerry, maybe you know it, Jerry Cantrell and Sean Kinney, the drummer, performed on Metallica's Tuesday Is Gone on Garage Inc.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
We just take a step back from the darkness of the drugs and all that. So, yeah, so they played on that.
Sean must have played some percussion or something.
Tuesday. I always think
That's
of
a
Happy
great
Gilmore.
song.
Isn't that
Yeah,
Happy Gilmore?
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rooster then is the next track. So a lot of people might know this story, but we'll go with it anyway. So Jerry Cantrell's father. It's about Jerry Cantrell's father's experience in the Vietnam War. Jerry's father's nickname was Rooster. Yeah.
Cool nickname.
Yeah. So another theory was that the Viet Cong nicknamed the soldiers from the, oh my god, what is this? The Airborne Division, Rooster Men, because they had never seen a bald eagle before, and that's what was on the planes.
On the plane.
Yeah, I think it was the 101s. That's what the Airborne 101s.
That's what they flew.
Yeah, and they never seen a bald eagle before, so that's why they called them roosters. That's
Men.
the roosters coming, because when it was, and the 101s had their it was on their shoulder patch as well, and so the Viet Cong named them the Roosters.
The Roosters.
That was another theory. Fun fact, Gloria, the lyric, that's Jerry's mother's name.
Oh, okay.
Gloria send me picture. So that was Jerry's mother's. Jerry's father was quoted saying when he first heard the song, he said, "Wow, close, too close, too close."
No way.
Brought it all back.
Brought it all back from PTSD.
All the trauma,
crazy
all the shit. And it was like, we're here to snuff the rooster.
Yeah.
We're here to get him. And it's off. Like, when you think of the shit that went on back then, you stuck in the jungle and afraid to move.
Oh, it'd be crazy.
But that's what he said. Wow, too close, too close.
And it's very strange. I've been fortunate to be in Vietnam myself, and I had said this to you when I had went to visit the Cu Chi tunnels outside Ho Chi Minh City. You stand there and take it in, and a lot of that land was burned. The war zone was just sort of destroyed, and it's open now.
Chemical napalm bombs and all.
But when you look at it now, even what's left of it that's very true to what it was like, obviously it will never be like what it was then. You just think, oh man, I couldn't even imagine what this would be like.
Imagine the insects and the
But
heat.
just getting thrown into, everything looked the same.
Yeah.
Like everything looked the same.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been just crazy.
And they talked about not to get off the topic and just like a history lesson, but they had planks that they had the shape of your foot in reverse.
Or to break your leg, was it?
No, to wear it backwards. So you would slot your boot into these planks that if you were walking north,
yeah,
the shape of the plank was the reverse of your shoe, that people would think you were walking south.
Okay.
So if they went to follow your footsteps.
Oh, so they actually walked with their feet backwards?
Yeah, they had a plank that made it look like they walked with their shoes on backwards.
Oh, they were very smart.
That people would then follow into a certain area and they would be fit to get them.
Yeah, no, it's a place I'd love to go. I know a few people that went into them tunnels and went down it. Did you go into them?
Yeah. I don't know if I'd get into it now. I was a lot later then. I was a lot later coming home, but after all the sweat.
Yeah.
But my God, you wouldn't go well in it. No, too tall.
I'd have a panic attack in it. Robbie went into them.
Oh, well, if Robbie got into them.
He said he shot himself in them.
Most people would, but I'm sure it was very snug for a man of Robbie's stature.
Yeah. So, where were we? So, the music in the song, again, let me see.
Don't be exposing the table. It feels bad with no clothes on it.
Yeah, it almost plays that. That's what I was saying. Like that movie again. That song plays that movie. You feel the fear, the anxiety, not knowing you know, war, all that crack, you know. I really love the guitar tone in this monster of a song. Staley's harmony again with Cantrell is haunting at times, but intriguing as you listen on. The drums hit hard like a bomb from a B-52 over Saigon.
I like that one.
It's a wee joke. Right, so then we're into Junkhead. Right, Junkhead is a deep one, a dark one. It's a hard listen. It's like an insider into the mind of a heroin user. Some say it glorifies the use of heroin, but I don't think that was the honest intention of the lyrics. Like I said earlier, the whole album is about the different stages of addiction, and Junkhead is the peak of that addiction before the downfall. Some of the lyrics, you can't understand a user's mind, but try with your books and your degrees. You know, he's basically saying, you know, you're all...
He's having a go with the therapists or
yeah,
the
you're all,
psychologists of
like,
the world.
you can imagine back then, like, as I say here, I'm sure Staley went through a roller coaster of people telling him back in the early 90s, just quit, you know, it's, you know, give it up, like.
Yeah,
but
just, it's like somebody saying, give
as
up
we
the
know
smokes,
now,
will you? They're not good for you.
Yeah, as we know now, it's not that easy, and like that's when, you know, I'm sure there was a lot of people who were trying to help him, and you know, sometimes you can't be helped. I think that's really...
Well, you have to want it.
You have to want it, of course.
But you have to have discipline.
But there's people who wanted it and relapsed and just went.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, that can
It's
happen too.
unfortunate.
It's quite a sad song as well, and I can kind of understand why I said earlier in the podcast why people have said, oh, you know, fucking pricks justifying or glorifying drugs, but I really don't think they wanted to as the album goes on. Dirt. The guitar sound and the harmonies remind me of Songs for the Deaf.
Yes.
That desert rock kind of feel, yeah. Song is about depression, drug use, death. Also the song could be about the relationship breakup, maybe Demry again, Lane's ex. Very graphic lyrics. Lane must have been in so much pain to write this song, because like bits about being scraped off walls and fucking, you know, this was him just giving up. You know,
I must go back and listen to it with a different light.
Yeah, it's quite fucking dark now. But again, it, like, you know, they really captured each song with the riffs, the solos. There's so much feel in the solos, like, because this song is so heavy and dark and sad. I really feel that Jerry fucking nailed the emotion in the solos. Like, you can really feel the pain, I find. Maybe it's just fucking me.
Yeah.
But you could just really, I think there was just magic when this thing was made. And I know it's not happy, and I know it's not, but it's fucking real life, like.
Yes.
You know?
It's realistic.
Yeah. Godsmack. It's not my favourite track now, but is a term used for a heroin overdose.
Godsmack.
The song is about using heroin, of course. And God's name is smack for some is a lyric in the song. This is an odd line, but it seems to bring back to Stanley's childhood. His parents were Christian Scientists, and growing up in this tradition gave him a lifelong interest in a cult-like nature of religious beliefs. So, you know, each to their own, but like a lot of times when people, James Hetfield,
yes,
another one who grew up in kind of a cult-like religion kind of thing, you know.
Yes, and then became to resent it.
And that's maybe one of the things that sent Stanley down that fucking path. I don't know for sure, but it seems to
It's hard
happen.
to know, like, I think if something is forced down your throat, or you are told what to believe and the decisions are made for you,
you're going to rebel.
but if you oblige or obey for so long, and then you start to, what is the word I'm looking for? A rebel is in my head after you say it, but if you start to doubt the teachings, and then you become defiant and you start to become rebellious, you'll feel a certain way. Your parents or the people around you, you trusted them,
Yeah.
and they should have had your best interest, and now you feel like there's no one you can trust,
Oh yeah.
and you doubt everything,
Yeah.
and you start to think, oh, this is a big lie, and what else is a lie?
Yeah.
This sort of way that they then have a twisted perception of the world.
I want to get up a lyric here when you were just talking there, because I don't want to play the song. 1 second, because one of the lyrics in this song, I believe it's this song. Maybe it's not this song, but it mentions his father.
Okay.
And he says, now it could be Jerry that wrote the song. I have to go back but it's like, I made it a point of not ending up like my father. And then the next lyric is, oh, who am I kidding?
Yeah.
I'm fucked. It's in me.
Yeah.
Do you know? And I was like, oh fuck.
That's deep. Yeah.
That was a deep one. Right. So then it goes into the untitled track, Iron Land. That's again
with Tom Araya.
I Am Iron Land, which is homage to
Iron Man.
Yeah. Bit of emotional release for such a heavy album. I believe that they opened the tour while they were touring the album. That was the opening track.
Iron Gland.
Yeah, to just kind of get ready.
Brilliant.
So Jerry's riff, he kept playing while the band were recording the album, and he's like, do you like this riff? Do you like it? And they were like, no, we don't fucking like it. We stopped fucking playing it. And they said, you know what? Fucking put it together. We'll put it in the fucking album if you quit playing that fucking riff. That was the story behind it. It's that class, isn't it?
It's like, can we go to Mount Splashmore? Can we go to Mount Splashmore? Can we go to Mount Splashmore?
So then we're into Hate to Feel. Almost feel to the song that it's a struggle with drugs again. Trying to detox and all the feelings that you have to go through to get clean. It's also about regret. The song mentions, this is the song I was talking about. So Hate to Feel. It's all this time I swore I'd never be like my old man. There's one of is that I just have to look
the lyric.
Yeah, and I just have to see. I can't think of the top of my head. What is the next line? Sorry, bear with me one second.
No, all good.
Tell us a story, like. Jesus, where is it now?
I can't tell a story, ladies and gentlemen, because
there it is. All this time I swore I'd never be like my old man. What's the hay? It's time to face exactly what I am. There's like if you read the lyrics of some of these, so climb the walls, thin my blood now, and I crawl back to bed now. What the hell? Gotta rest, aching pain in my chest. Lucky me, now I'm set. Little bug for a pet. New Orleans gotta get pincushion medicine. Used to be curious, now that shit's some stents. All this time I swore I'd never be like my old man. What's the hay? Can I see? It's just battling, isn't it? And it's him going through the emotions. Like it's sad. It is sad. So Lane's father was a drug addict. And when Lane became famous, this is a fucking brutal story.
Oh man.
So Lane's father was a drug addict, and when Lane became famous, he came back into his life after 22 years. And Lane was trying to change his father's lifestyle, but he wanted his dad to accept him, and they both started using. That's fucking brutal, isn't it?
Jeez, that's sad. That's really sad, yeah.
Like he obviously...
That's very sad.
Oh, it's brutal, like.
Yeah.
Trying to just get accepted by your father.
By his father, yeah. He just wanted to be accepted. He wanted validation.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the father came back into his life when
Which is crazy when you think of it, because he had accomplished so much
oh fuck.
with his voice and with his band.
And he was so young. Like he had another band before that were kind of glam rock.
So if you think of the success he had with Alice in Chains, and I know they talk about that, people talk about the drive, the obsessant drive to go and do great things, and then it's never enough. They still have to do more and more, and it's to fill the void.
Yeah.
And you think all that he had done, how talented he was,
Yeah.
and then that's what he still wanted to do, to be accepted by his father. That's a big hole to try and fill.
It's wicked. It's very. I really find.
You could say that was the start of the slippery slope.
I think he was in deep enough at the time, but yeah, it didn't help the
It
problem.
didn't help.
But even kind of going off topic, like Aaron Hernandez,
Yeah.
like he had everything. He had his career. He got the big NFL package, got the money, but he still wanted to hang around. I know he might have had a few issues or whatever.
Yes.
But
He wanted to hang around with the guys that he came up with.
but he's involved with drugs and, and tuggery and whatever.
That was the lifestyle he was
That was
used
the
to.
vibe. That
It was the habit.
it was the habit.
Yeah.
But I find I'll go through we'll do a synopsis, but we'll go through the last few songs. So Angry Chair, which was one of the singles, and I believe he wrote this one, Lane. Very dark and gloomy lyrics again. I say this, it's just so sad. The life of an addict sitting in his smack house on his chair, watching his appearance deteriorate, his face changing, his stomach hurting, so lonely, almost looking for someone to help him without asking. I honestly feel that this song might give us an insight into Lane's childhood, into that religious cult his parents were in. Maybe some abuse, maybe torture, maybe mental torture, possibly led him into that dark path. But it's a brutal fucking song. So sad, And then the last song, Wood, it does have a different feel.
Yes,
I think
it's a very different feel.
different tempo and a different everything.
Yeah.
It's a tribute to Andrew Wood from Mother Love Bone. Lane sings the chorus while Jerry sings the verses. Fun fact, the shirt Lane wore in the music video belonged to Andy.
No way.
It was gifted to him by Andy's fiancée, Zana. The song is about not judging us for our mistakes. The message seems to be about understanding that nobody's perfect and sometimes we can't overcome our temptations.
We've all got flaws.
Oh,
You bet
yeah.
I've got a few. We all have.
But yeah, like Jerry says, even just reading them notes, like it's a trip. It's a fucking.
That'd be a tough listen,
it's
having been a member of the band, and it bringing you back
Yeah,
to the process.
but even just reading them notes there, like it's a fucking, from Rooster and talking about his father and a bit of a row in the studio with Damn the River and
Yes.
them bones being
There are
cured.
huge leaps between the tracks.
It's just this, and it's like, John Kate, yeah, I'm taking heroin, fucking good. And then it's like, hate the feel is, oh fuck, I'm coming down off this shit. Why am I doing this shit?
Yeah, the journey.
Angry Chair, just sitting there thinking, what the fuck, like I'm fucked here, But overall, I know it doesn't sound like it, but I really fucking like this album. I think it's so honest, so powerful, so very gifted musicians in a one studio at one time. Sean, Mike, Jerry and Lane, like, to me, from them grunge days, from Nirvana to Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, a few others. If you ask me now, 10 or this album, depends on my mood, I suppose. But fuck, there wouldn't be much in it for me.
I'd take 10 all day long. It's an easier listen.
It's an easier listen. Yeah, it is an easier listen. But then again, like, as I got older and stuff, albums make you feel, and
You change.
they change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we talked about different albums, and I know we talked about Saint Anger,
Yes.
and I give it another listen, and I'm like, you know what, this is dog shit.
You think so?
Yeah. You know, I hadn't listened to it for a while. It's not dog shit, that's a bit too much, but it's not good. No, it's not. But that's for another day's crack. I'm trying to get to the point where it can depend on your mood, it can depend on your age and your time of life and your where you are in life and family and kids and whatever way you are. I do feel where albums will hit you differently at different stages of your life.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
my opinion.
Agree.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of Alice in Chains. I think they're very, very good. The EP then, Jar of Flies, and then into the self-titled album, you know, before, and then the MTV Unplugged.
We must. Yeah, we'll have to go through that.
Like that. Did you watch that? Did you? No, you didn't watch it.
No, I will.
But overall,
we'll watching it.
I will. I'm happy we done that album. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually did learn them few fun facts about the album, and for an album that's, what the fuck is it? 92, it's 30.
32 years old.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, it's fucking old. Like,
Yeah.
it is old. But that is our review of Dirt by Alice in Chains. If you enjoyed that one, let us know in the comments or shoot us a message.
Recommend some other albums that you would like to see us review. We're always open to some more
Yeah,
recommendations.
oh yeah, we'll go on the happier trail the next time.
But
But
I really enjoyed listening to that album.
yeah,
I
no,
loved the feel of it. I loved the sound of it.
love the tone.
Only criticism I would have of it is that I thought some of it sounded a little similar after a while. Some of the tracks.
I do believe that this is one of them albums that you do have to listen to a good few times.
You had said that to me. Yeah,
It's
give
not
it a
a-
good few chances.
It's not a one listen album.
Yeah.
No way. You don't get that feel. Like if you're on your own driving or listening in your bedroom or whatever you're doing, it grows on you.
It grows on you the more
Yeah.
you listen to it.
Definitely.
I must
So-
tune into it again.
That's it, yeah. So again, thanks to our sponsors at Defy, and we should hopefully be announcing a new sponsor soon.
Yeah, a
Um,
massive thanks to Defy Sports. Check out Defy Sports for all your sporting good needs and some school uniforms.
Yeah, if you're
If-
looking for a kit for your local soccer team or Gaelic team, they
If you're
can.
looking for custom apparel,
They can do the whole lot for you. If you have a football team or a running team or a cycle team, talk to the boys, shoot them an email, and they'll look after you.
Yeah.
Absolutely excellent, good Irish company. So that's it. Thanks for listening, and we catch you on the next one.
we'll chat to you soon. Have
Good-
a good one.
Good luck.